Call this meeting to order, and if you would follow me in the flag salute. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Oh, thanks for everybody coming. Any citizen desiring to be heard, Dan?
No, I just appreciate you guys' hard work, all four of you.
All right. Moving on to item 4, consideration possible action approving minutes of May 31st, 2016.
Whoa, we almost got it. I move we approve.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 5, consideration possible action on approving LPA County Project Maintenance Financing and right-of-way agreement for job project 18265 Beaver Creek Bridge.
This is it. Some more ODOT.
ODOT.
Seeing as how we have to do this under duress, I recommend we approve it.
I'll second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion carries under protest.
Duress. There's a difference.
ODOT has so many mandates. Really irksome. Item 6. Are we done?
There's only one copy of this?
I think they're working their way down.
Yeah,
Oh,
one more.
yes. And my
There you go. Actually, 2 more. Uh-huh. I'll wait. All right. Item 6, consideration possible action on approving REAP grant contracts for the following. District number 2, paving India Meridian Road, $100,000. District number 3, overlay Coltrane south of County Road 72, $35,000.
Did Ken get those to you?
He did not send me no contract.
He didn't send me anything.
Cynthia, did you get any contracts from Ken Brown? ACOG? To explain and clarify, emails went out asking the boards, any of them, that were approved, went ahead and put this on their next meeting, that the contracts should be available and sent out before the meeting actually got here, but to make the agenda item. And
Who was
so,
that? That was ACOG?
yes, and so that's what I did, but the contracts aren't here, so I would suggest that we table this item.
I'll get in touch with them.
Yes.
I'll talk to them and figure out where they were at. I'll call.
Good deal. Thank you. Moving on to item 7, consideration of possible action on approving fiscal year 17 professional agreements for the health department.
These are our fiscal year extensions of those that are already in place for the various different services that they use. And they're set up just for the chairman to sign, but you might wanna pass those on down as you sign them.
This is,
There's 3 copies.
oh,
Yeah.
I see. There it is. You get one sign, I'll pass it on down.
Troy,
That's how we're gonna do it.
all their funding comes from the state,
Pardon me?
health department, most of their funding comes through the state.
Well, they get a millage,
They get
2.56 mils from us, and then they have state funds as well.
State look at these contracts too?
I think so. I can't.
Yeah, the challenge with these is professional services agreements aren't required to be bid. And so that's an area where you can get into some cronyism that, I'm not saying there is any here, but professional services agreements at the county level is one of the areas that I'm not sure needs to be a complete rubber stamp from a budgeting standpoint and that sort of thing.
I will state just, none of these come anywhere near a bid limit, as.
Yeah, I'm not sure the limit's what I'm concerned about.
I understand, I'm just,
It's $45 an hour.
Yeah.
I wonder how many hours they get, the gang.
they're paid by purchase order, I mean, I could pull them.
I mean, there is a budget associated with this outfit, right?
With the health department, you mean?
Yeah, they get appropriations, they spend money, there's,
Yes.
all that's tracked, right? So, that's kind of right.
It's not 45 for all of them though,
$45 an hour.
for all,
Nutrition services,
for all 5 of those?
No,
Okay.
no,
well,
That's what I meant.
so, yeah, let me see what we got.
each of them are different.
Yeah, this one's 15.
Yeah, I just want to clarify.
Nutrition services, 45 on this one. Seems to be pretty high.
For nurses. This is for emergency response services. 25 per hour.
Who supervises these folks, by the way?
They have an administrator, Jay Smith is our administrator,
Is our, when you say our?
at this health department. He's employed by the state.
Jay Smith?
Uh-huh.
Clerk services, total hours per hour. Just like it. Doesn't make no sense. Just 2 signatures.
Why do they call it a county health department if it's a state agency?
It's funded by, I mean, they do receive county funds, I don't know if that's,
I'm just
but
curious. it's just $12 an hour. Maybe we could hire this person to help us interpret ODOT.
There you go.
Well, that'd be good if they could do that.
They're underpaid.
Will there be action?
I'll make the motion to approve.
Guess I'll second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Motion carries. All right, consideration possible action on approving fiscal year 17 contract between Logan County Health Department and Mercy Hospital, Logan County for chest x-ray services.
Well, it'd probably be pretty cheap if you could get them to do ODOT deal.
Yeah, $12 an hour. That's not even torture funds, man. X-ray services, we got that, we're looking at. While he's doing that, can we, Troy, for just for informational purposes, who was the fellow at ACOG that's in charge of the REAP grants? I met him the
Ken
other day.
Brown.
Ken Brown?
Ken Brown.
Okay. Yeah, I met him the other day up there, introduced himself. All right, I will call Ken after this. So who are we doing chest x-rays on?
Patients that go through the county health department, I believe the x-rays are actually for TB testing.
Right. If they test positive on the blood test, the scratch test, they
They
have to get a chest
have to
test.
get a chest test.
I still, why is the county paying for chest x-rays?
It's part of what their health department does. I mean, I can't give you details, I don't,
That would be the.
like I said,
Cost.
they receive a millage, a property tax millage.
For, I mean,
For-
who's the target
public health
audience for
services.
these x-rays?
Pardon me?
Who's the target audience for these x-rays?
I would assume, and it would just be a guess, it's low income and uninsured that use public health services.
Yeah, tuberculosis epidemics have been a scourge in the far past. We certainly don't need another epidemic.
I'm not sure that matters who pays for the x-ray.
Bit of mitigation.
Not eligible for public or private insurance. All right, that's what it's for.
So I'll make the motion.
Second.
All those in favor? Aye. Motion carries. Item 9, consideration and possible action on approving fiscal year 17 contract with Total Assessment Solutions Corp. for oil and gas valuation services.
This is the company that the assessor's office uses to do all the valuations for the oil and gas taxable properties.
It's the same one they used last year, isn't it?
Yes, sir.
I so move we approve.
I'll second.
How much is it?
40,000, I believe.
40,000, yes. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye, motion carries. We can get that. Can't we on the CD or something?
Still want to-
When they
everything
first
is-
started, they promised there would be all kinds of mappings and things available to the board, but
I haven't seen one yet.
Haven't seen one yet.
Maybe we should ask Tish about that and let let her run that right in the hole for us, and
Yeah.
In fact, I think we did question that last year.
Yes,
and,
we did.
They wanted more money to do the mapping.
Well, was that not mapping for all the pinhorns and culverts and stuff like that?
no.
That was just for
This is just the oil and gas industry that
oil
they were
and gas
missing.
industry would have with all the pipes that are in the county. And if that's available to the assessor, that should be available to us as well, would it not?
When they were first contracted a few years ago, that was part of what they stood in this board and said, that they had GPS mapping and they could help with all kinds of different things that they could provide on CD to each of the commissioners for their districts.
So,
Because they drive all the roads looking for this equipment, they take
Right.
all that in, they said that that would be part of what they could do.
so that wasn't provided directly to commissioners, maybe it was provided to the
My understanding was they were
assessor.
supposed to, but I don't.
That was my understanding at the time.
Was it a part of the contract? No,
I-
it wasn't.
Possibly not.
I'm looking at
Don't
the
see it.
contract.
Don't see it on there.
I'm sure that with the travel these folks do and the equipment they have to do it, that they can go out and do other GIS assessments in the county while they're there. But they probably, I know if I was running that business, I wouldn't do it for free.
No, no. But what is in place was what they said they would provide to do, say, culverts and all our signs.
I don't think they signed
Would
up
be
for culverts and
additional.
signs.
Yeah, that would be additional, yes, sir. But we never did contract with them to do that, but they can do that. All right. Let's see. So item 10, consideration possible action on approving fiscal year 17 cooperative agreement with the Oklahoma Department of Agriculture Wildlife Services for wildlife damage management program. And this is our
What is this about?
The trapper,
trapper.
Trapper.
and the state trapper works in the county.
Can you do anything about all these squirrels running loose all over the place, man? There's herds of them everywhere. You notice that?
Just my
The little baby ones.
They're
They
rabid.
have it
They're
set up
everywhere.
just for the
Our
chairman.
pecan harvest this year was.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Just kind of curious.
When I was driving in this morning to the meeting here, there was more than a half a dozen of the little baby squirrels that were in the alley back here just running and playing, and it was like, reminded me of that EDS commercial about herding cats. I was trying to get up there without crunching any squirrels, you know.
Yeah. Yeah, there's.
Well, I try to take care of my own rabbits.
I got two pecan trees, I know all about them.
The wildlife was one of my first phone calls when I moved here.
And that's divided by 3. Each district pays a third. It's been that price for many years.
Now, what's he trapping for us again?
Beaver and hog is what he does, or wild pig.
Do we, wild pigs?
Mhm. He does some of that as well.
I mean, does he do it at our direction or at his own discretion and just send us a bill?
Call him and he'll come out and do it.
If you got a problem with beavers or something, damming up your pipes, call him, he'll come.
Mhm.
He's done a bunch for me.
So it's
Me as well.
But the farmers in the county use him quite a bit too, on coyotes, wild hogs.
And he's the one that contracts with the
So when-
wildlife department.
So when the farmers in the county use him, is that something the county has to pay for, or does the farmers do that? Is that a different deal?
I think the state pays him.
Yes.
I mean, we just pay
State pays.
$2,400 per year to have him in county.
Whether he shoots a hog or not?
Use him
Good
as
bastard.
much as you
I ain't
can.
never caught him in no pig, but he sure does a lot of beaver work for me.
Now, he doesn't do cougars and he doesn't do bobcats. Doesn't do coyotes.
There's only one.
Right, yeah, I just give it to you to read it.
Yeah, thank
He
you.
won't relocate beavers. That's my first call was, hey, I need a beaver relocated. He says, you're not from around here, are you? I said, no, just moved here. We don't relocate those, we kill them. I said,
Now, there is
"Okay."
a gentleman that will do
Yeah.
that because
That
he's
needs
pro-life.
signed,
Uh,
that needs
Yeah.
signed.
Yeah, I just
Mike's-
didn't,
oh,
I
Mike
didn't
didn't sign it.
know
Yeah, I
what
had
S
one,
they
I
were.
didn't sign
I
it.
just moved here and I
Got
thought,
it before
oh, we
you
just
signed it.
relocated. No, get rid of them.
He kind of relocated.
They got that beaver, when they did Cedar Valley, when they first put the golf course in out there, Duffy's
I'll second.
had this,
All those in favor?
Aye.
had this issue with this big old beaver out there. He's in a big old plastic case in front of the golf course.
Okay.
Item 11, consideration possible action on approving 911 service fee resolution for calendar year.
Chairman, it's my understanding that this is a reoccurring action that we do for our 911 service resolution out of ACOG. They ask us to do this. I've got the memorandum from John Johnson, if anybody would like to look at it.
I think they emailed it to me.
I think so. I think they emailed it to all of us. I just wanted to make sure everybody was aware of it and was able to see it.
No, this is an annual.
Right. They really need to get out here and figure out what roads are which, because they have an awful lot of roads where there aren't roads and a lot of roads where they don't have.
Okay, no problem there, Chairman. If you can get me a list of those, I'd be happy to take them to the meeting with me and get that worked out.
I believe he needs to come out here and find them. So that would be with 911. I'll second. All those in favor? Aye. Item 12, discussion and solicitation of sealed bids for used road graders. Template proposed specifications are completed for 3 different sizes of graders.
So we've been working with some of the salesmen around, and what we've come up with is 3 different templates to send out for sealed bids for graders. One's a light medium grader, which is what I've been told sufficient for county roads, a regular size grader, and then a large size grader for doing rework and constructing new roads or reconstructing old roads where you got to pull the sides in, that kind of stuff. I wanted to bring this to the board, have everybody kind of look at that and see if we thought that was acceptable to start sending out for some of the replacement of graders we've got coming up at the end of our current contracts.
Looks like it got copied with stickies on it.
No wonder I couldn't get that off.
You're gonna have a hard time with that one. Which one is that one?
Like,
I can get, yeah.
So it's all, you're going with all wheel drives? on all
Yes,
of them?
those are all 6-wheel drive. I mean, we can specify 4 if that's either way. But those, yeah, those are for 6-wheel drive, and the type, what is it, type 3? The
Oh,
emission
tier
stuff?
3.
Yeah, before you get to tier, yeah. It's before you get the emission stuff on. So they're used, it's for used, probably 2012 and earlier systems.
I don't have a problem with it.
So we can use those as templates. That's kind of what I was looking at.
So we need a motion on that?
No, this is more
Just
discussion.
Discussion.
Yeah, I just wanted to
No
officially
action on it.
talk about it. And generically, that would fall into a 672, 772, and 872, if you were looking at John Deere stuff.
at one time, we had some Volvo light graders, but they certainly weren't any good for my roads. And,
Looks good to me.
and then I've always thought we could use a grader for some of these small addition roads.
So Troy, as we're going through here in the next month or so, well, over the next month and over the next year, if we could hang on to these and use these as a template for
Will you give me one that doesn't have?
Well, you ought to be able, you're pretty good at kind of doing that.
You can read through that.
I'm filling those blanks.
That mind reading thing, you're pretty good at that. Yes, ma'am, I will.
Thank
I think I got.
I didn't even realize.
Actually, I've got them right here.
It was like that, so I just took them out of the package and sent them to you.
I got them right here, Troy.
Okay.
Moving on to item 13, consideration of possible action on
That's my
approving
other copy.
resolution accepting $483.84 donation to District Number 2 from Kevin Sorrell for 10 Horn on Forest Hills Road. He's needing a 24-inch, 32-footer. Make the motion to accept. There you are.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. On to item 14, consideration of possible action on approving resolution accepting $595 donation to District 2 from Leo Sutton for culvert pipe on Amanda Drive. That's for Two Horns at two of his drives there on Amanda, which is one of the roads that we maintain. Or help maintain, I should say.
I make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Item 15, consideration of possible action approving the following permanent road crossing permit for Superior Pipeline Company. It's crossing County Road 74 4 miles west of Highway 74 and County Road 74 east of the southwest center portion of 1817 and 4 West.
I move we approve.
This year's.
Yeah.
I'll second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Give us all a few minutes to get these signatures. There you are, sir. Poly gas lines.
I take it they're not trenching diagonally across any of your intersections, so you know.
No.
I guess that really cuts their costs.
Yeah, a lot better
I would
about
think.
following the rules.
But they don't have to weld a pipe with all those specs that are associated with it. Polyline will move with movements in the earth that we seem to have every once in a while. So I guess it's a good thing.
Item 16.
Chairman, I have none for 16 or 17.
16, 17, moving on to 18, consent agenda.
There are no transfer of appropriations for the current year or the previous fiscal year. These are cash funds.
Take a print, yeah. Now this has, okay, these are, oh, these are individual, I'm sorry.
Can we do comments, announcements while we sign these?
Sure.
I need to have a special meeting one day this week so I can prove the ODOT that we bought some right of way. They have to see the check. The only way Troy can do the check is if I have a special meeting. They can't just look at our PO and say, yep, sure enough did it. They got to see it.
And it has to be done before the 15th.
So if Cynthia spoke with Marvin, he said he could make it So Mike, if you could do it, I would appreciate it.
So what, when is that again?
Sometime between now and the 15th.
Yeah, the sooner,
I'm sure.
sooner the better.
Yeah, I'm pretty free up next few weeks.
How many days notice do you have to give to call the meeting?
Have to have a 48-hour notice.
Okay.
So the absolute soonest would be 10 o'clock on Wednesday. And that's provided I get bank stamped in before 10.
If y'all could do it, I would certainly appreciate it.
I'll be there.
I don't see any issues.
Thank you. We've been fighting that project for a long, long time.
That's,
And I think it's gonna be 100% funded, so the CBRI money will be it.
Well, that's what we've been trying, that's why it's so important to get this done, is the folks at the CED have pretty much put this on hold for us and waiting for all this to get cleared. And it seems the folks at ODOT aren't on the same side as everybody else in that area. We've got no incentive to get things done, it seems.
Well, it's certainly been a struggle on this particular project. So it's been a long time
Sales
coming.
tax is back down, I guess, 66.70. Oh, that's fire tax, yeah. Would, it's still, if you divided it 3 ways,
Well, it is a third.
yeah, it'd be 22,000. $22,136.
You guys come up with your meeting time? I thought you had to call a special meeting. Did you come up with when?
It'd be 10 o'clock. It's the
10 o'clock
soonest we
on-
can have it, on the
Oh.
8th.
Oh, is that when you would do it then? Oh, okay.
The special fuel tax, boy, it's way up 63 cents.
Yeah,
man,
My goodness.
it's almost.
oh, that is,
Sign that Sharpie.
Well, think of it this way, we would have only got $12,426 if we hadn't got that, extra 63 cents.
I'm glad they got it plugged in there.
Troy, real quick, why did the pen and ink change from 13 May to today's date on there?
When Sherry runs those through the apportionment program, it prints them based on the date of the apportionment.
It auto dates them, then that program does, okay, I get it. Thanks. You're finally getting your money back then.
Well, I didn't do the transfer today, I'll do it on the 15th.
Still, thank you.
You're welcome. I just felt better going ahead and processing that and then doing the transfer on the 15th.
You reckon ODOT's gonna come back and make sure that these folks cash that check before they?
They might even ask them where they're spending the money.
That would conclude the consent agenda.
I'll move that we approve the consent agenda items.
A second.
All in favor? Motion carries. Item 19, any citizen desiring to be heard?
I just want to thank all of you, all four of you, again, for all your hard work. I know the paperwork's a drag, but you guys do it well, and I appreciate that you're looking at it, not just rubber stamping it, but you're thinking through, is this what we need to do? So, thank you. Please keep it up. The professionalism's up there too, I appreciate that. It's not personal anymore, it's business, and I like it.
Thank you.
Good job.
I got a quick question. Bonnie, I know you don't start on, but any update on what's going on with Crescent EMS? I know they had a meeting and I didn't hear anything.
You know, I didn't attend that meeting,
Me neither.
so I don't know.
I just know they had June 4th as a,
Yeah, I know they shut the door. I hate it.
All right.
All about money.
oh, I know.
It is. You think you don't know anything about it, so whether they're gonna be able to get another ambulance service to even.
I didn't know if a mutual agreement was set up or, I didn't.
You know, I heard they had one with Kingfisher, Cash, and maybe Guthrie.
Kind of like it was last
Hennessy.
time.
Hennessy to me wouldn't be a real good option, but I guess
Sounds
it's
like
better no
almost-
option.
Sounds like almost a mutual aid sort of type thing.
Yeah.
And Hennessy's a bit of a drive for
Yeah.
EMS.
Yeah, I know Cashin contracted with Miller, so I don't know if they'll look at Miller coming in or what.
Folks at Cashin seem to be pretty happy with it.
Yeah,
I didn't know if there was a temporary, I didn't know, heard.
that's what I've heard is some mutual agreements.
All right, moving on to item 20, comments, announcements, questions by the Board of County Commissioners. And I think you were gonna make a report on Brian Taylor.
Brian Taylor, yeah, I spoke with Mervin's office and told him that on the traffic signal lights at I-35 and Waterloo Road is they had an agreement with Oklahoma County is the way I understood it, and none of that will lie in Logan County, so we won't be responsible for any kind of maintenance. But they did think when they redo the intersection, they might swing over Logan County, but he called me back and said due to an oil line on that side, they're gonna actually stay further south. So.
High pressure gas line, yes, sir.
So none of that will be in Logan County, so it'll be all Oklahoma County, and that's who they had the handshake with, is with Rayvon.
That was the way I remember that conversation, so that was one of their misstatements. They also misstated that the traffic signals are expected this winter. Well, this winter begins December 21st, and in talking to Brian Taylor with Division 4, why he says they expect them in October or November. That's this fall. So yeah, they stand corrected on 2 items.
So Monty, did Brian say anything about updating their press release to?
He
make it
didn't
more
mention
accurate?
that. He did not say that.
Thank you, sir.
Right.
Thanks for checking on that.
Right. And my only other thing is, our front end loader over there at the shale pit is leaking hydraulic, and so we don't know what whether we were gonna be able to fix it over there, or whether we were gonna have to switch them out with the one that's in our yard. We'll see what happens there. Also, I made inquiry, and apparently, Commissioner Goodman, that dozer has not scratched one pebble for District 2. So, much for that. Any other comments, announcements?
I do. I was curious, do y'all know anything about the 522 board in Cashion? Are they still down a board member? And is it our responsibility, or is it Kingfisher County's that's missing a member?
I do not know.
I think they're down a board member, and I didn't know if it was on Logan County side or Kingfisher County side. So.
I can find out. It's over my side.
Thought I'd throw that out there.
All right, I got that.
That it?
Nope,
Item 21.
said no.
Oh, wow. Yeah. Item 21, consideration possible action on.
I think he means he
Oh,
has something
no.
else he wants to
Oh,
say.
I apologize. I misunderstood what your no meant.
I have a few.
Sure.
First of all, not throwing rocks, Troy, but our agenda wasn't posted to the website this morning for today's meeting.
I don't do that.
I
I will check.
understand but it's still a requirement of ours to do that, right? So
I'll
just
find out.
Yes, ma'am, thank you. And then I wanted to ask about if we need to have some sort of a meeting to talk about direct deposit for county employees and have an up or down meeting on whether or not we want to proceed on that. There seems to be a little discussion or dissension whether or not that's even needed. I believe it is desperately needed, and if we need to do that, I hope we can put that on the agenda and just go ahead and vote on that, and if we need to move it forward, or if I need to keep asking to have it placed back on the agenda. On my third item here, ODOT furnished our cash account information for the SERP program. I think that was sent out to everybody here. And one of the things that I noticed on here is that the first, even though this program was initiated in 2008, the first expenditure, the first time any of our projects got any payment was 2011. And this, my point here is this accounting is only on money that have been paid through SERP by ODOT for our projects. It still lacks what an accountant would need, what Troy was asking for, I think, that talks about the allocation and reallocation by project, how much funds are allocated to a project or reallocated year over year, right, for a project that's on a 5-year plan. So if we've got a project that's on a 5-year plan that's scheduled for 2020, for example, is that money there? Is it on hand? Is that cash on hand? Or is that money that they're waiting for appropriations in 2019 to put in the 2020 plan. Nobody knows that. I mean, we can't see that right now. And then, you know, is there an appropriation shortfall for our 5-year plan? Is all the projects we currently have in our 5-year plan, is there cash against all of those, or where's the line? You know, those are things that we don't see and we don't know. There's not a consolidated budget plan for the CERB program, and we still need that, I think.
We don't know it, and ODOT don't know it either.
They don't care to know.
None of that money is encumbered, and so therefore the legislature seems to think we haven't spent it and therefore don't need it. So that's why they're taking from it.
Well, that's one of the reasons.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so that brings me to our county CERB 5-year plan. We're probably, when, you know, you talked about special meeting earlier, and I said we were probably going to have one anyway. We're probably going to have one for our CERB 5-year plan, just as soon as ODOT releases the update, the funding for, what is it, 17 through 21?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So that's, we'll need to look at that as soon as we can. As soon as that comes out, we'll need to also schedule another meeting for that. And then that brings me to another one, which won't happen until the first Monday next month, and that's our county budget meeting. I just wanted to kind of remind folks kind of how we did things last year, or looked at things last year. This is the same information I passed out last year for county budget process, and how the cycle is supposed to work. One of the big disagreements, I guess, from last year was getting the excise board to make an estimate, right, which is their best guess of funds available. What I heard last time from the county officers that were in the room was that they don't know how much, they can't know how much money until August, September, October, when we get the numbers back from the state on that kind of stuff, that we can't know exactly, so there's no sense in trying to estimate. I don't really agree with that. I think that we need to, you know, budget based on what we believe is going to be there, and if it's not there, if it's less than that, then we will have to readjust. That's the way the budget's supposed to work. But anyway, I wanted to bring that back up and get that on the front burner because it's coming up pretty quick. While we're talking about budgets for next year, we had talked briefly about county engineer. When we have that budget meeting, I'd like for that to be on the agenda as well, to talk about that. We are currently relying on ODOT as our county engineer based on the statutes that I've read. I'll bring a copy of those in when we talk about them. But we're currently relying on ODOT for all that. To contract and contract engineers, right? So when we don't have contract engineers, then ODOT does that for, there's a dollar limit that programs or projects have to go over where you have to have an engineer. And ODOT's responsible to do that for the counties if we can't afford to hire one, right? But I'm not sure where that, if we can't afford to hire one, goes to, right? If they think, well, you can use CERB funds to do that. Which brings me to the CERB piece of that. This spreadsheet that was just sent out from ODOT, I did a quick recap on that. And since 2011, when they started paying out, we have spent $300,000 a year since 2011 on engineering services of CERB money. That's just for CERB projects. So that's $1,460,000 since 2011. That's quite an expensive little jewel there. So those are, I would really like to talk about how we could maybe save some CERB funds and also improve our county road and bridge maintenance program for the county as a county-wide program, instead of some of the stovepipe ways we're doing some things today. And I'm not throwing rocks at the stovepipes, but you know, they do require 3 different fires to keep the building warm. Okay, item 7. In our district this July coming up, we're going to be paving 2 miles road, Charter Oak between Penn and Western. That's scheduled between 11 and 15 July. In Forest Hills between Coltrane and Center. We're looking at that one to be let or bid pretty quick. The bid should be coming in pretty quick, and we're looking at 25 through 29 July for that. Funds are available to do that, and we're looking forward to getting that done. We've also conducted an unofficial traffic study of South Logan County. I'll throw this out to you guys and kind of let you look at it. The whole point of this is everybody talks about all the growth that we've got in South County, but it becomes very apparent when you look at this from north to south going down from Forest Hills. You know, between Broadway and Coltrane and between Forest Hills and Simmons is where we did this traffic study. But you can see that just on the corners, if you can start at Coltrane Road and Forest Hills, the average daily count at that intersection is 323. Drop down to Simpson Road and it's 1,065. Go further south down to Simmons and it's 1,280. So the further south you go, the more traffic that we have in each one of these areas, which really is helping us focus on which roads need fixed first. And I just kind of want to bring that to everyone's attention. Can you copy that?
I've seen
Okay. And with that, I believe that's all I had. Thank you, sir.
My question on the engineering, did y'all ever figure out or ask anyone if we had our own in-house engineer and can we turn in claims to the CERB where the CERB pays our engineer?
I think no. But here's what happens though, is that CERB money that is in our 5-year plan isn't going to pay engineers, it's going to fix roads at that point. You see what I'm getting at?
If we get it on the table in time, if ODOT still approves it.
I'm sorry, what?
Well, like the money we got in our CERB plan this year, we're gonna lose.
Well, yeah, well, if they take it away from us, it's not that, whether we got an engineer or not, it doesn't matter. But yeah, if they take it away from us, we're gonna lose it. But my thought was if we had an in-house engineering system, you know, with somebody hired to do that with us, I mean, even if we had to spend, you know, several $1,000s for equipment and software and, you know, CAD CAM type stuff, I think in the long run we'd come out ahead by not having to pay those exorbitant engineering fees just for the CERB program. We would be able to refocus that money back onto projects rather than paying engineers.
You got any idea what an engineer would cost us?
Yes, sir. I've done a little research. Professional engineers, civil engineers in Oklahoma make anywhere from about $55,000 up to $155,000, depending upon their experience and what they're doing. The ones that work for local government are running around $65,000 to $75,000 a year. You can hire one of the new. They have engineer apprentice, which also qualify. Engineer apprentice would be somewhere in the $45,000 to $55,000 a year range to start. If we could bring an apprentice in, get them trained in, you know, what we're doing here in the county, and then, you know, as they come along, you know, they would probably move on if there's an opening to do that, right? And you are going to have some turnover in professional engineers, but I think it's something that we need to look at from a cost benefit standpoint and pursue if we think it makes sense.
Sounds all right to me.
Gentlemen, I now have something. There's no way I can get a meeting called for 10 a.m. on Wednesday, so we need to bump that to 10:30 so I can go get it stamped in.
Yes, ma'am. Okay with that. That's all I have, sir.
10:30 Wednesday.
Details.
Oh, I do have one more thing, I'm sorry, I apologize. I did get these 3 items back from ODOT where we asked to have the Coltrane Road project split into three different pieces. And they have done that, they've got job numbers assigned to the other 2. Commissioner Pearson, they did leave the original job number on that first mile of off Waterloo that you and I share, although he did not break down the federal amount, total amount like he did on the other 2. I've asked him to go ahead and do that again.
Sure.
So when we go through our 5-year plan, if this is something you want to pick up on your side, I'd be happy to give it to you. If you want to look at splitting the cost on CERB, I'd be happy to do that. If you want me to keep it in my CERB plan, I'd be happy to do that too. But it's there and it's available if you want
Whatever
to.
will get it paved.
Well, getting the most points at the when it's graded is what's going to get it paved.
And then I had some questions about the engineering. And one question is, what will be the cost of the infrastructure that's needed? The second question is, will he be doing all the surveying and watershed flow and all that himself? Will that be contracted out? And the third question is, do we reinvent the wheel? How many counties in the state of Oklahoma currently have their in-house engineering? So those are my 3 questions that I will be interested in on that particular issue.
So I think as far as what the capabilities and things like that are, I think that's up to the board of commissioners to decide what we want them to do.
Yeah, but that all needs to be figured into the price of having an in-house engineer. That's all I have to say on that. Any other comments, questions before the board? Moving on to item 21, consideration possible action on adjournment.
So moved.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Carried.